Greetings, everyone, and welcome once again to TFT Tarot for Today, Divine Dabblings with Oberon and Banshee. This is me, Oberon, with my show, The Outlook on the Emotional Exchanges, which is my weekly forecast with tarot and astrology to tell you what the emotional ups and downs, the swings, etc., going on in your life will be. So this is for the broadcast week, the week of Friday, August 13th through next Thursday, that's the 19th. So happy Friday the 13th for those of you out there. And we get started by doing a collective reading for everyone. And so for that, I use the Isis Tarot. I've already pulled that card. So that is the number 5, the eyes. Put that right there. So what does that mean? It means we're ready to fight and be brave. We have a talent or a gift of leadership. We're someone who wants to advance. Perhaps if we are fighting ourselves, it results in insights and evolution. So we will advance in every undertaking. Well, we hope so. Okay, so that's what I have for the Isis Tarot. So to do our reading, we go through the signs of the Zodiac as they are arranged by their elemental associations. So we'll do the air signs first. And air signs are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So they have a word of the week, a focus for the week. And for that, I pull from this deck the Eclipticos, and that's cooperation. So this would suggest that the air signs will find that in the ways of emotional relationships and resonances, they need to be cooperative. They need to look for those opportunities where maybe they can find ways to match themselves with others and arrive at mutual ends. All right, so now we're going to get on to the rest of our reading. And Mr. O has a little bit of a raspy throat, so hopefully I'll be able to get through this all. All right, so we saw what the focus for the week for the air signs will be. Now we will find out what will make the air signs happy, what will bring them emotional happiness, contentment this week. And it's the Magician reversed. And I think that if we are not as forceful in our goals this week, maybe it's making us happier because we're not feeling as driven to achieve or to master or to show willpower. Maybe we're happier this week because we're really finding that we can let some things be fate in a way. That the magician is sort of the controller of their will. And so if we don't have that, then maybe it's really being able to trust in fate, to trust in a plan that maybe something else is right for us. And so maybe this makes us happy to understand that we're not always, especially in the terms of the emotions, in charge of our fate, that maybe sometimes some things are left up to others' will or to others' sense of fate or chance that could just be occurring there. So then what is our challenge for the air signs? And it is the 8 of Cups, upright. And I guess if it's tying in, then maybe it's suggesting that we are moving to another stage. We are moving to another goal or situation. Maybe we are finding that we see a different light for us. And so it's not so much about necessarily negating the past, but it may be that we have found that there's few lessons for us to learn there. So as indicated by the first card, maybe we're changing our focus. Really, what makes us happy is that we're able to change our focus on where we see our will taking us, and that this card sort of says it's our challenge, but I think that maybe it's a challenge we can embrace easily, air signs. So then what will concern others around us, those who are our loved ones in every sense of that word and very senses of the word? And it's the devil reversed. Perhaps some of the folks around us, our loved ones, perhaps they're freeing themselves from certain conceptions or from certain routines that maybe were limiting them, were challenging them in ways that they could not actually achieve. So there was just really an oppression there in a sense. And maybe now some of our loved ones are finding that they're able to kind of remove some of these obstacles or these limitations, these addictions they might have had, or these behaviors and traits that just were inhibiting some of their own will or some of their own will to be an emotionally adult person. So I think that's good news overall. So I'm hoping that you will find that's true. I'll just sum it up again and say that this is a week where we find a number of lessons in finding cooperation, air signs, with others around us. Maybe we're happy because we realize that we don't always have to be exactly in charge, and that maybe there may be new challenges for us with our willpower where we want to direct ourselves, because it looks like maybe we are challenged by moving somewhere else emotionally. Maybe we're finding that we're changing our friends or what we expect from our friends. And maybe those around us too are also feeling like they're changing too, that they're removing some of the things that, limited them. And maybe it's really all about that cooperation as we're learning with our friends and loved ones how to figure out how to find balance between all of us. Because we all deserve our own free will, unless, we're really harmful. So that's what I have for the air signs. And now we're going to move on to the fire signs. And fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Their focus or word of the week is conjecture. I love when we get those old-timey, semi-antiquated words. Well, actually, I don't. Conjecture, I believe, is sort of like when people kind of look at evidence or data or what they're finding to be facts of some sort, and they're kind of making a decision or opinion or a theory. I believe that's what conjecture is. So if I'm wrong, I'll probably will correct that when you see this. It'll scroll across the screen. Mr. O screwed up. But I think conjecture is really, in terms of the emotions, maybe we're putting it together. Maybe fire signs are figuring out what's going on in their love lives, what's going on in their friendship circles. Maybe it could be about a particular situation. Maybe somebody's been playing a certain game, and maybe because we review the facts, we realize that something like that. I don't know. I guess I could go a number of different ways with what that could mean. So hopefully it will mean something to you, fire signs. So now we're going to go on with the rest of the reading. All right. So fire signs, what will make you happy this week? What brings contentment? What brings emotional pleasures? Perhaps. And it's the star reversed. And it's kind of similar to the air signs with the magician reverse. Maybe this is saying that there is a little bit of relief. Maybe it's not abject pleasure, but maybe there's a sense of feeling good about not missing your chance at hope, not feeling that all is hopeless. That maybe you understand that, sometimes there is a cycle going on and that you just have to kind of work with it. And that maybe finding your destiny is not an immediate thing. Maybe that's the conjecture thing happening. So then what will actually be your challenge this week? And it's the Ace of Coins, and it's upright. And so I think you're trying to build something that's the basis of an emotional beginning, contentment with, maybe it's another person or maybe it's a situation. I mean, maybe it could be about you saying you've started a new job or employment situation and you really want to love it. You really want to like it. And your challenge, of course, is getting all those parts to work together. So maybe there are various people that you have to relate with personally in order for them to understand you and get to know you. So it could be something like that. It could just be about a relationship in general, that there's a foundation that is being built. And the challenge for you is to make sure that it's being built well, that everyone knows, the right way to proceed with that. Now then finally, what will be causing anybody around you to possibly have their own issues? And it's the Five of Cups. So people around you care about, they may be feeling that there's some problems in their relationships, in their romance possibly. Maybe somebody around you will feel that they are having problems in their relationship, that maybe they're breaking up, or that maybe certain friends of some duration have failed them or have betrayed them, or that they have just for some reason become distant with them. So those things are all possible. I don't know that this is somebody who is your direct primary relationship. I think it's more likely within that core of your friends or family, people you care about. They're having these issues with some of their relationships. Let's sum this up a little bit because I think I have to go over another card too. The first one is conjunction. So I'm thinking that in the ways of emotional relationships and resonance, the fire signs may be having to figure some of this out from certain more mental points of view than actually the emotional. I don't think I said that before, but I think that it's kind of interesting because fire signs are a passionate sign, but they might tend to be a little bit more on the thinking side as well, like maybe air signs might be. Okay, I don't want to generalize too much. So maybe this is saying, though, that fire signs are really thinking more about the actual realistic aspects, not getting emotionally overwhelmed about their relationships. And so to that end, maybe they sort of feel that there's an understanding that not getting everything you want, not seeing the actual romantic or family contentment or whatever destiny. Maybe fire signs are just feeling like sometimes they understand realistically you don't have exactly what you want from a destiny point of view. Maybe that makes you happy. I don't know if it does. It doesn't sound exactly real to the fire signs I know, but if I'm missing something, maybe somebody will correct me on that. But then you have the challenge of the Ace of Discs, and I think that's just saying that you're trying to create a new foundation for your relationships or for a situation you really think you're going to enjoy, a new work, a new move, something like that. Those around you may be feeling, though, that something's missing. Something's being left behind. Maybe they feel like they're being ignored because of these other two cards, like because you're sort of accepting a certain new status quo and or you're focusing towards building something new now. So maybe that's what that's about. At any rate, that's what I have for the fire signs. So thanks for watching. And now we're going to move on to the water signs. And water signs are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. And their focus or word of the week is the provider. So I guess it's a reflection of cards like maybe the Six of Coins, or maybe the Empress. It may be more of a reflection on that kind of personality that feels they want to nurture, they want to provide for others, they want to make others feel good. So it could be that what the water signs will find is that they're going to have to provide things, and it's probably emotionally, like maybe they have to really, make some of their emotional feelings really clear, especially if they're moody or secretive or paranoid, Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. So I'm sort of going with the broad stroke again, but I am one of you three. I am the Scorpio, and I tend to hold on to things. And so maybe, this is saying, provide your emotionalness to people. Don't hold everything back. Yeah, I think that's a good way to look at that card. So let's get on with the rest of the reading then. Find out what else is going on for those crazy water signs. And water signs, what things will cause you happiness this week? What will bring you emotional contentment? And it is the Two of Cups. So woohoo, water signs. I think water signs are really going to gravitate and understand a sense of harmony, trust, and love and care within all of their relationships, maybe within very close primary relationships, maybe in relationships with children or parents or other family people, maybe in close friendships, maybe in close co-worker friendships, things like that. You're going to really feel wherever you are that you can really handle the harmony and the trust. It makes you so happy that everybody seems to be getting along for a change. Isn't that wonderful? So then what is the challenge this week for the water signs? And the challenge this week is embodied by the Justice reversed, Major Arcana 11. And I like the 11, I like the master number of 11. But I think that from an emotional point of view, what could be happening here is that we're not sure of our ability to decide certain things that we might be encountering in our emotional realms. Maybe we are getting information about people or situations, and we may be expected to develop an opinion and to maybe move with that opinion, a judgment. Let's block this person because they said blah, blah, blah. Or, no, I'm sorry, I don't have time for you right now. But secretly thinking inward, you've changed. I don't like you because you're now blah, 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 fill in the blank. So maybe this is saying that our challenge is to remember not to overjudge people from an emotional point of view, that maybe we have to have some amount of harmony. Hey, Two of Cups there within all those more extended relationships, because I think that's what this is talking about. This may not be talking about a primary relationship necessarily. So then finally, what does concern other relationships, maybe more from their point of view? And it is the upright King of Wands. So I think that in our relationship, maybe it's more specific, a certain kind of person, a certain person we know. It may be a stronger relationship. That King of Wands energy manifests as somebody who's kind of both stately, authoritative, but also magnetic. Also somebody who maybe is really trying to draw forces together, draw people together. There's somebody who kind of is that tipping point person. They know people and they know how to bring people together. They disarm. They're charming and disarming. So maybe we're finding water signs that we are getting this information or energy from people we know. To what purpose? It could be about the other situations here. It could be about that. Let's look at it again. Um, so, from an emotional point of view, maybe we need to think about what we provide emotionally, how we really show we care physically, mentally, emotionally to actual people in our lives or situations. But we are happy because we do feel that there's a lot of harmony and trust. There's a lot of willingness to work and move forward on uh, partnerships, bonds. But our challenge really is, like I said before, maybe learning how to lighten up and not be over judging of people that maybe are different from us or relate to some things emotionally differently. They love cowboys and we can't stand them. We like pirates better. I don't know. Something like that. So then finally, others around us, though, are also feeling too that maybe they're the ones who need to set the better example by being this strong magnetic person. Or maybe they're just trying to remind us, hey, this is the week for the water signs to be, that kind of provider there too. And I sort of see a symbology or symbiosis between these two. So that's what I have for the water signs. The earth signs. And earth signs are Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. And good old solid of the earth, people of the earth, you get versatility for your focus or your word of the week. And I think you could say that maybe from some points of view, speaking with a broad stroke, that the earth signs are very solid and dependable, but maybe sometimes they're not always as innovative, or they just tend to be a little bit more uh, by the book kind of personalities. So this is saying in terms of emotional output or how we understand or see things going in our emotional life, that we try to be a little bit more versatile. We try to understand that maybe people around us have different ways of expressing their love to us. And so we're not asking the world necessarily, but maybe we're just asking you to understand that there's a lot of different things going on in emotional response and expression. So be open to the idea that, some people may grunt when they want to say, I love you, and some people may totally drool on you when they should really be a little bit more, discreet. So let's get on with the rest of the reading then. And I'll just briefly remind you that my other show, Goth Tarot, airs every Wednesday at 8 a.m. on our YouTube channel. And that also, Banshee's show, The Material Matters, airs Sundays at 10 a.m. So check those out. And I'm almost finishing up here, so just giving a slight signal to my invisible producer. So then, what kind of happiness will the earth signs find this week? And it is the reversed Ace of Swords. And I think the pleasure is in the doing, that maybe sometimes when you look at something you're planning, especially if it's emotionally related, you kind of realize, hey, this isn't going good, so maybe I really have to try from another angle. And so I think that if you're looking at establishing certain bonds or making certain things happen, especially in those emotional realms, those situations, meeting new people or establishing a stronger bond, you may have to re-examine what some of those efforts are. So then what's next is what is challenging you in this week ahead. And I see the Two of Wands, so we have another two. And the challenge would seem to be that you mostly are feeling just a little bit too contented, that you're feeling like from that emotional point of view, everything seems to be too preordained. Maybe you are questioning a little bit on whether it's all really true, if there's anything else you need to do. But the signs seem to indicate that everything is really going well. So the challenge may be just to accept the waiting for it to finally fall into place. And then at last, what is of concern to those around you who may be emotionally expressive to you, those you care about the most, your primary or other relationships? And we have the Prince or Knight of Discs. And this is a person who maybe feels that the goals they wish to achieve from that either romantic or emotional point of view need a strategic, maybe methodical kind of process. And so maybe what you're finding is if anybody is making any kind of overtures to you about elevating the friendship, elevating the relationship, you could probably expect them to really be bringing out some more material aspects, but also in the vein of really just slower progress, just sort of like letting things grow at the organic rate. So maybe this is how they're also looking at all their relationships in general. They almost sound like another earth sign, if you ask me. So it could very well be. So just summing that up again, remember in ways of the emotional expression, keep some versatility about you. You're probably happy because you now realize you get to try again on whatever that struggle or that attempt at achievement is. You know, your goal, emotionally or otherwise, seems to be something you need to try something new, and you're willing to take that task. While at the other hand, maybe you're just a little bit bored of that, or maybe you're realizing like everything is too pat in a way. So maybe that's where the concern is coming from. I don't know if it actually is a concern or not, because it's in the position of what talks about pleasing to you. So maybe it's the journey. Once again, it's the journey. And that's also maybe slightly represented with that page or that Knight of Discs, that somebody really enjoys the movement that's kind of steady and organic towards their goals, whether they're romantically related or whether they're broadening some bond or friendship with you, something like that. So that's pretty much what I have for all of the signs for this week ahead. And I want to thank you once again for watching my outlook on the emotional exchanges. I'll be back again next week. That's the 20th. So until then, take care. Bye now.